here. What's up, everybody? It's your favorite I need two of these guards by my side at all times, favorite nerd, and we are talking today about, I don't know what it's called. It's an exclusive. It was through GameStop. I think it was a shared exclusive with Barnes & Noble of all places, but it's like the evolution of the guard. So we have the Royal Guard or whatever it was during the prequel era, and then the Imperial Royal Guard, and then the Emperor's Shadow Guard, which was from the old EU, which you know I'm a fan of, and then the Elite Praetorian Guard, which my buddy Cody, who is visiting here from England, do you want to say hello, Cody?
You alright?
You alright? He calls him Flower Pot Arm Man, because it looks like a stack of flower pots. I'm not sure how I feel about this guy in terms of the character design. We're going to talk a little bit about that. We're not really going to be looking at this fella because we've already reviewed him, and he just comes in the set. We're going to look at the others, him very briefly, because it's basically a repaint. But let's get to it. Shout out to Crashbox Customs. That's who pre-ordered me this set, and then I reimbursed him because he is on it. He is on it like a hornet, and more on it than I am sometimes, which is makes me want to step my game up. But anyway, this looks all painted to me. Like this blue looks painted to me, and the black visor looks painted to me. Nice amount of soft goods for the blue robes. The accessory is this rifle, which he does hold. We got silver paint on it. Other than that, it's just a black cast plastic, but it is good sculpting and nice detail. For the figure itself, let's take a look under the cloak, shall we? And we have, it's basically kind of the same layout, but accurate. There is something wrong with this leg, and this isn't the only one that has a leg issue. And I just looked at the Thrawn recently that had a leg issue. There seems to be some QC issues happening in the Black Series at Hasbro these days. I'm not sure what is going on with that. Let's talk about it real quick. Head is on a ball peg, it feels like, but you pretty much only get the swivel out of it. The shoulder is on a disc hinge, and the shoulder guard does go right underneath the chest armor, so that's nice. So you get it all the way almost up to 90 degrees. Nice sculpted wrinkles in the arm, but no bicep swivel per usual. You do, however, get it at the elbow, so that's ultimately fine. Wrist swivel and hinge up down, which I think for a rifle is nice. You get the side arm as well. That's rubber banded in here, and I think I'm going to leave it. But all of this blue looks painted to me, which is nice. It may not be. No, it's not. It's just like a glossy blue plastic that's cast. It's painted here on the chest, but not like the soft stuff. It's interesting. And then the same for the other side. Nice belt. It's a floating piece that is just floating. Might be glued on in the back. Maybe. And then we have a single ball peg at the waist, which gets you nice articulation, but nothing too crazy. We have T-jointed ball joints for hips, a little bit limited out to there. Nice wrinkles in the pants. All the boots and stuff are sculpted well and have that same sort of shiny, glossy blue, which does look good. Double jointed knee. This one's a little funky too. It's a little gummy bear. Ooh, I feel like I'm going to break it. I really do. Like these knees feel terrible. Terrible. And I can't even get the top one to move. It's a real bummer. There's some weird stuff happening over there. Feet feel great, so to speak. We got an ankle tilt up. Nah, not really. Not really, because that's just where it should be. Ankle tilt down and a tremendous rocker. Back of the figure looks nice as well. But the legs are certainly an issue, and it's going to cause an issue with stability as well. But at the same time, it's nice to get a prequel era figure. And actually, he's standing all right, you know. So then we have the Shadow Guard. Mine came with a bent blade, so that's a bummer. Maybe it's a hot air gun or something will loosen that up a bit and let me sort of shape it. And then he comes with his signature staff, and then you can plug this in. However, I have more bad news. It's not really the best fit on mine. Anytime I say something like that, somebody's always like, it's fine on mine, must be an issue with yours. That could very well be the truth, bro. I'm not totally sure. I can only look at the one I got, and the one I got is a little loose. It also could have used some paint on this thing. It's just a little plain, so to speak, but I don't know. It's fine, I guess, and he holds it okay. Otherwise, it's the same exact detailings that are on the Royal Guard, which I can bring out. He also has his sidearm, and so does this one. So, identical. Identical. But, we'll run through the articulation real quick. Same for the head, it's pretty much a ball peg, and you get very limited out of it. You get a little bit more turn than you do on the prequel era one, but it's okay. Same sort of... Actually, let's take a look at this. This might be the exact same. And if it is, we're not going to go through this. Yeah. It's the exact same underneath, which is cool to me. It's cool to me in the sense that, like, the evolution of the Royal Guard, we're not going to go through the articulation because we just went through it. We'll just talk about a couple things that make this unique. We have the black glossy finish instead of the blue glossy finish, which does look good. And we also had the black cloak, which does look good. It's a nice material, too. It's a really nice material. I like when the Black Series introduces like just a few accent soft goods pieces. I think it really gives the figure some life, as opposed to, like, you know, Krennic's cape, that plastic shell, or the new Kylo cape. The eyes here is like it almost looks like a translucent plastic for the eye visor. I wish they would have gone with a real glossy black paint in there. I think that would have brought it to life a bit more. But other than that, I suppose it's fine. Not a lot to write home about, but it does the trick. And I'm a huge EU fan. I'm really bummed that they have kind of, in a soft way, done away with it all. Not totally. I think the rule is, unless they say it didn't happen, you can still assume it did. But I don't know. I thought a lot of the EU stuff was really cool and interesting. And I think we'll take a moment to talk about Star Wars for a second, since we don't have much to talk about with this figure. I think what's important to Star Wars, there's a difference between doing Star Wars and growing Star Wars. And I really think that growing Star Wars is what kind of continues the magic. And I love Force Awakens, and I'm really looking forward to The Last Jedi, but I don't feel like the sequel movies so far, just in terms of Force Awakens, I guess, have really grown Star Wars a whole lot. It's been a lot of doing Star Wars. The prequel era, love them or hate them, it did a lot of growth for the Star Wars universe. Whether or not it was all done well, that's a different discussion that I'm down to have at another time, but it did take that world and expand it as you know it, whereas the sequel ones so far haven't done that. But I have a feeling that The Last Jedi might. But that's what I liked about a lot of the EU stuff, was that it expanded that universe a great bit. So this is the Praetorian Guard, which is the one I think that most people are excited about because it's from the new movie, etc., who Cody calls Flower Pot Arm Man and Pinkerton calls Thumbnail Head. So he comes with these two accessories, which also form, as you can see, he holds them just fine, which also can form into one, and they can be this way, or they can be this way. This is the way it's supposed to be, FYI. And nice silver paint on there. The red does look a little plain. For the figure itself, it's actually really well done. Surprisingly well done, but I have an issue with it, and we'll get to it. Nice red glossy plastic for the armor. Looks great. The ball is on a ball hinge, so you get all the way up to there. Great range of motion for a figure with this much armor. Down to there, once again, really well done. And then the swivel. This is the type of joint that people would say is loose, but I would say is toleranced properly. So we have this shoulder here, which plugs into there on a ball peg. So you can move it around a little bit. But it allows for the, oh God, it works so well. It works surprisingly well for what it is. Disc hinge shoulders that get you up to there. These move out of the way to allow for the articulation. So no complaints from me. You also get the swivel, which gets you up to there. I don't think you would want any more than that. You could have got a bicep swivel in here with no problem, and they didn't do it. So that's a bit of a bummer. And the elbow is pretty much worthless. Don't mind me. Just working on my Praetorian Guard cosplay. Too much elbow. It's there, but you can't really get anything out of it because of the flower pots. Also, this shoulder piece should have been in the same glossy plastic as this. That's a bummer as well. Wrist swivels and then hinge in out for this hand, and looks like up, yeah, it's up down for this hand. Ball peg for the waist that works really well once again. There's tons of sculpted detail in this undersuit, which looks interesting as well. I'm anxious to see these guys on screen, to see how what the story is with these fellas. Little black paint there on the chest, and that's about it. Once again, these will come off, but you know, I'm okay with that because of how they work. It's like it's a decent price to be paid. Ball peg, like I said, great articulation there. This, once again, this plastic here is the same as this, but not the same as this, so that looks a little strange. And then we have the soft goods underneath with the cuts in them, and I think that this soft goods work really well here as well. The legs are on T-jointed ball joints with a great range. You got a thigh swivel. You also had that on the guards. I'm not sure if I mentioned that. And then you have the knees, which are double jointed and get you the full range. You have lots of sculpted detail in here in the pants as well. Interesting material. And then we have another bowed out leg. And I'm not sure if this was assembled wrong, like the Thrawn. It doesn't look like it. It just, no, because this would have to be on the outside. It's just bowed out, which is a bummer. Like, look at that leg. Stupid. Very stupid. I would assume that this was the same piece as this, but it doesn't have that little, you know, nugget on there, so I don't know. Ankle tilts all the way up, all the way down, and a rocker. It's a little impinged by the ankle armor, but not terrible. So all in all, a surprisingly good figure, but mine, and I'm sure this is an individual, results will vary, my leg is very stupid. Final thoughts wise, it's a pretty decent set, but let me tell you about my issues. I wish that this visor would have been done differently on this fella here. I'm pretty much A-okay with the way that he was done, except I have a QC issue, and I'm A-okay with the way he was done, except I wish the paint was I wish there was a glossier paint for the red to really make it pop. This guy is such a mixed bag. So in one regard, he's really well done. The way that the engineering is done, for the most part, like with the shoulders, is really well done, but the elbows are like a throwaway. So that's a bummer. And then I have a QC issue with him as well. I don't really feel like there's any valid excuse for some of the QC stuff that I've been having problems-wise with the Black Series as of late. I'm not used to having it with the Black Series. I'm used to a different set of issues with the Black Series, right? Like, sometimes it's painted really well, and then the next time you don't really get that love in the paint, and you're kind of like, what happened? But this is different. Like, these are figures being misassembled, figures that are packaged in it seems like packing materials that are bowing out the structure of the plastic. Like, that's an issue that needs to be sorted out. Ultimately, I still do recommend it, and let me tell you why. You can always use an extra Royal Guard. This is a new figure, and we always need more stuff from the prequels. The prequels, I don't feel like should be forgotten. I enjoy the prequels. I want them to continue making figures of the prequels, and I feel the same way about the EU. I'm interested to see how many Praetorian Guard there actually are in this movie, but I think I'm already counting the ones that I'm getting so far up to 4. So I have a feeling that you're going to be safe with this set. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Until next time, take care.